Good day guys, I am Rejani Fuentes, BSMT student of PMI Colleges Bohol, and I'm here to read about the IBC code, BCH code, and IMDG code in marine environment. IBC code. Carriage of chemicals in bulk is covered by regulations in SOLAS Chapter 7. Carriage of dangerous goods and MARPOL Annex 2. Regulations for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances in bulk. Both conventions require the chemical tankers built after 1 of July 1986 to comply with the International Code for the Construction and Equipment of Ships and Carrying Dangerous Chemicals in Bulk, or IBC code. The IBC code provides an international standard for the safe carriage in bulk by sea of dangerous chemicals and noxious liquid substances, listed in Chapter 17 of the code to minimize the risk to ships, their crews, and the environment. The code prescribes the design and construction standards of ships and the equipment they should carry, with due regard to the nature of the products involved. In December 1985, by Resolution MEPC 1922, the code was extended to cover marine pollution aspects and applies to ships built after 1 of July 1986. In October 2004, IMO adopted revised MARPOL Annex 2 regulations for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances in bulk. This incorporates a four-category categorization system for noxious and liquid substances, and it entered into force on 1 of January 2007. Consequential amendments to the International Bulk Chemical Code, or IBC code, were also adopted in October 2004. Reflecting the changes to MARPOL Annex 2, the amendments incorporate revisions to the categorizations of certain products relating to their properties as potential marine pollutants, as well as revision to ship type and carriage requirements for following the evaluation by the Evaluation of Hazardous Substances Working Group. Ships subject to the code shall be designed to one of the following standard. Number 1. A Type 1 ship is a chemical tanker intended to transport Chapter 17 products with very severe environmental and safety hazards which require maximum preventive measures to preclude an escape of such cargo. A Type 2 ship is a chemical tanker intended to transport Chapter 17 products with appreciably severe environmental and safety hazards which require significant preventive measures to preclude an escape of such cargo. Number 3, a Type 3 ship is a chemical tanker intended to transport Chapter 17 product with sufficiently severe environmental and safety hazards which require a moderate degree of containment to increase survival capability in a damaged condition. Thus, a Type 1 ship is a chemical tanker intended for the transportation of products considered to present the greatest overall hazard, and Type 2 and Type 3 for products of progressively lesser hazards. Accordingly, a Type 1 ship shall survive the most severe standard of damage, and its cargo tank shall be located at the maximum prescribed distance inboard from the shell plating. The next is Code for the Construction Equipment of Ships Carrying Dangerous Chemicals in Bulk, or BCH code. Under Regulation 11 of Annex 2 to MARPOL 73/78, chemical tankers constructed before 1 of July 1986 must must comply with the requirements of the code for the construction and equipment of ships carrying dangerous chemicals in bulk, or BCH code. The predecessor of the IBC code, the BCH code remains as a recommendation under 1974 SOLAS Convention. And then the last one is the International Maritime Dangerous Goods, or IMDG code. The International Convention for Safety of Life at Sea, 1974 SOLAS, as amended, deals with various aspects of maritime safety and contains in Chapter 7 the mandatory provision governing the carriage of dangerous goods in packaged form. The carriage of dangerous goods in packaged form shall comply with the relevant provisions of the International Maritime Dangerous Goods, or IMDG code, which is considered an extension to the provision of SOLAS Chapter 7. Furthermore, the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, 1973, as modified by the Protocol of 1978 relating thereto, MARPOL, which contains in its Annex 3 mandatory provisions for the prevention of pollution by harmful substances carried by sea in package form, prohibits the carriage of harmful substances in ships except in accordance with the provisions of MARPOL Annex 3, which are also extended in the IMDG code. The IMDG code was developed as an international code for the maritime transport of dangerous goods in package form in order to enhance the and harmonize the safe carriage of dangerous goods and to prevent pollution to the environment. The code sets out in detail the requirements applicable to each individual substance, material, or article, covering matters such as packing, container traffic, and stowage, with particular reference to the segregation of incompatible substances. The code was initially adopted in 1965 as a recommendatory instrument. It was in 2002 that the General Assembly at its 17th session adopted by Resolution A716-17 the IMDG code and decides to give it a mandatory status under the umbrella of SOLAS Convention from 1 January of 2004. However, some parts of the code remain recommendatory. These are the some parts. Paragraph 1.1.1.8, notification of infringement. The other one is paragraphs 1.3.1.4 to 1.3 to 1.7, training. Ay 1.1 to 1.8 din sila. And chapter 1.4, security provisions except 1.4 and 1.1, which is mandatory. Next is section 2.1.0 of chapter 2.1, class 1, explosives, introductory notes. And section 2.3.3 of chapter 2.3, determination of flashpoints. Then columns 15 and 17 of the dangerous goods list, chapter 3.2. Then next is the segregation flowchart and example in the annex to chapter 7.2. And section 5.4.5 of chapter 5.4, multimodal dangerous goods form, insofar as the layout of the form is concerned. Then chapter 7.8, special requirements in the event of an incident and fire precautions involving dangerous goods. Then section 7.9.3, contact information for the main designated national competent authorities. And I think this is the last one, Appendix B. Since its introduction in 1965, the IMDG code has undergone many changes, both in appearance and content, to keep pace with the ever-changing needs of industry. Amendments which do not affect the principles upon which the code is based may be adopted by the Maritime Safety Committee alone. Thus, IMO can respond to transport developments in reasonable time. Amendments to the IMDG code are made ENT group on a 2-year cycle. These are mainly originated from two sources: proposals submitted directly to IMO by member governments and amendments required to take account of changes to the United Nations recommendations on the transport of dangerous goods, which sets the basic requirements for all the transport modes. The IBC code, BCH code, and IMDG code are all international codes that pertain to the safe transportation of dangerous goods and chemicals, including provisions for maritime pollution prevention. However, they serve different purposes and have different applications. The IBC code, or the International Code for the Construction and Equipment of Ships Carrying Dangerous Chemicals in Bulk, the purpose, the IBC code is primarily focused on the construction and equipment of chemical tankers used for bulk transportation of dangerous chemicals. It provides design and safety standards for the vessels. Its applicability: the IBC code is applicable to chemical tankers carrying dangerous chemicals in bulk. It classifies chemicals into categories Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 based on their properties, which determines the type of chemical tanker required for safe transport. Marine pollution: the IBC code includes specific requirements for preventing marine pollution from chemical tankers. It addresses issues related to cargo containment, discharge restrictions, tank washing procedures, and safety measures to prevent chemical spills and environmental contamination. BCH code, code for the construction and equipment of ships carrying dangerous chemicals in bulk. The purpose of the BCH code: the BCH code is an older code that primarily addresses the construction and equipment of chemical tankers and provides operational guidance for the safe carriage of dangerous chemicals. Its applicability: like the IBC code, the BCH code is applicable to chemical tankers. However, its use has been largely superseded by IBC code, which is more up-to-date and comprehensive. Marine pollution: the BCH code, while it does address construction and equipment related to cargo containment, ventilation, and safety measures, also includes operational guidelines that indirectly contribute to the prevention of marine pollution. However, its focus is not as strong as the IBC code. Then the last one is the IMDG code, International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code. Its purpose is: the IMDG code is different from the IBC and BCH codes in that it is not vessel specific. Instead, it is global code that provides guidelines for the safe transportation of dangerous goods by sea. It applies to all types of vessels, not just chemical tankers. Its applicability: the IMDG code is applicable to all ships carrying dangerous goods, including container ships, general cargo vessels, and chemical tankers. It covers a wide range of dangerous goods, not limited to chemicals. Marine pollution: the IMDG code includes provisions for the safe handling, stowage, and carriage of dangerous goods to prevent spills and pollution. It provides detailed packaging, labeling, and placarding requirements for dangerous goods as well as emergency response and incident reporting procedures in the event of an incident. In summary, the IBC code and BCH code specifically address the construction, equipment, and safety standards for chemical tankers and their role in preventing marine pollution due to the transport of dangerous chemicals. The AMDG code, on the other hand, provides a broader set of guidelines for the safe transportation of dangerous goods by sea, including dangerous chemicals on various types of vessels. It also emphasized the importance of preventing marine pollution during the transport of dangerous goods. That's all. Thank you.